9. Okay, so let's get right into it. So today we're going to learn Mitzvah 116 and Mitzvah 117. So the Mitzvah 116 is the Mitzvah of the laws of erech of house of valuations, and Mitzvah 17 is the Mitzvah of the laws of field valuation. And of course, what's the mitzvah over here? The mitzvah is if you're makdish it, that it is considered hekdesh, and that of course these laws will apply then at that situation. Okay, so let's start. Hamitzvah hakuf yud vav. The mitzvah and the way we say it, and most people, this is the way it's set up in this, or the Rambam. This is how the Rambam wrote it, or this is how Shabsi Mehudras Shabsi Frankel decided to write it. But anyhow, we usually say kuf tes zayin, which adds up to the same because kuf is 100, tes is 9, and zayin is 7. So 9 plus 7 comes out 100. 109 plus 7 comes out 116. But the way it's written over here, let's say the way the Rambam wrote it or whatever, is kuf yud vav, so 110 and 6, which comes out the same thing, 116. So mitzvah kuf yud vav, he shetzivanu yisbara yisale be'erchei batim, it's that Hashem commanded us in the laws of erchei batim. And okay, so v'hu amrei ish ki yakdish es beisai kodesh l'Adonai v'ercha kohen bein toiv uvein ra kerkecha hakohen keniyeh. It's that's what the exalted one says, what Hashem says. And a person who is makdish, who designates his house, makes it kadosh, separates it for the base to Hashem. Es beisah kadosh la Hashem, it's kadosh to Hashem. It becomes holy, it becomes kadosh to Hashem. V'irchai hakohen, and the kohen evaluates his house. So now, ben tovim v'imra ukvaris baramish b'tei mitzvah zeh b'mesechtes erchin, and the laws of this mitzvah are explained in mesechtes erchin. So now let's go in the psukim over here that it says so the pasuk says, I think we have it over here. The pasuk says, "Ve'im ve'ish ki yakdish es beisai kodesh." Okay, so a man who has makdish his house, a man who separates his house, makes it kadosh, la Hashem verichai hakohen ben tov uvein ra, the kohen evaluates it between good and bad. Kasher yarich asay hakohen ken yakum, the way the kohen is marichet, the way the kohen evaluates it, ken yakum, then that's how it's going to be established, however the kohen evaluates it. And so and if he redeems his house, v'yasav chamishis kesef erkecha alav, then he adds a fifth to his house. So now, what does this mean? So the question is, what does this mean when the kohen evaluates the house? I mean, if he designates his house, then why is the kohen evaluating it? So the answer is that the kohen's evaluating it for a situation. If he wants to redeem it, then that's when the kohen has to evaluate the house. That's what the erech is 4, and the Sifri also adds that when we when we talk about the valuation of the house of someone designated as house, that pasuk also includes a situation that if someone wants to designate all his possessions in his house, even without the house, just the possessions in the house, that also that's also included over here. That's just something to mention by the way. But anyhow, what's the point? Why does the Kohen evaluate the house? Why does he? Because if he wants to redeem his house, then it needs to be evaluated, or okay, let's continue to Mitzvah 100 and Kuf Yud Zayin 117. So Mitzvah 117. Hima shetzivta Torah be'erchei sedai, says what the Torah commanded us in the erchim and the valuations of fields. Who amrai v'mistachu l'sayakdish. Like I said in the pasuk, if from the field of his possession he is makdish ve'im etz stei miknasai, or the stei miknasai shel lo mistachu l'say ve'chulei. Now stei miknasai, so it's talking about there's two different types of fields that you could be makdish. One type of field is a field that's yours. Now, because the Torah law, according to the Torah, any field that's not yours, that's not in our Batei Arei, well, that's not included in a city, depending on the opinions, but at least let's say, especially a field that's out of the city. So then, which would be even according to Rabbi Meir, according to this, because there is a machlokas in Mishnayos Maestros, if a field has the same within walled cities has the same law of walled city fields or not. But in any case, if he let's say he designates a field that's out of a walled city, and then this not a walled field. He designates a field out of a walled city. And it's his, meaning it's his inheritance from his father and what he got from when Hashem distributed the land to Bnei Israel, when Yeshua distributed the land, and this is an inheritance from his father. And this field he designated to to Hashem. So there's going to be a certain law for this, and then there's a separate law for a field that is designated that wasn't his, rather he bought it, because you're allowed to buy your field, but the way it works is that if you buy a field, then you basically, it's like a type of renting. There's no such thing really buying a field completely. It's a long-term renting. It's a contract, and it's not year. It's when we buy, it's considered a contract until Yovel, and every 50 years. And if you bought closer to Yovel, so it's less than that, but you pay him according to the amount of produce it would make within that amount of years, and so it's basically a certain type of rent. And but it's not yours, so you're makdish, so it's going to be a different din, and that's that's the two types of field, but they're one mitzvah, because the field, that's the common denominator over here. So that's the difference between mistachus asai, the field of his possession, or stem miknasai, the field that he bought, meaning that's not his, but he bought it until Yovel, which you're not really supposed to sell your field unless you really have to. Well, when your brother, when someone who's when someone who is has a field or land, becomes poor, and he has to sell it, right? And then, of course, he has to redeem it. But anyhow, in this situation, he had to sell it, and that's Daimik Nasa, and therefore, this guy that bought it from him made it hekdesh. Then the valuation will be according to its seeds that would be, meaning what would grow from it until Yovel, that amount. V'chulei ubistem mikne v'chishav lo kohen es michsas erkecha ubistem mikne v'chishav lo kohen es michsas erkecha ukvar yisbar mishbetei mitzvah zah l'shlemus b'meseches erchin. And this mitzvah is explained in complete in Meseches Erchin. So let's go to the psukim. If someone designates from the field, right, we said that, from the field of his possession, the evaluation will be according to its what grows from it. Zera of a chomer, which is a measurement of barley, b'chamishim shekel kasef. So that's what you're going to pay him, 50 shekel for this a chomer of barley. V'imikna mishnas hayavel yaktish sadeu ke'erkecha yakum ve'imachar hayavel yaktish sadeu v'chisha. So if from the Yovel he is makdisha kerkecha yakum, meaning he has 50 years, ve'imachar hayavel yaktish sadeu, and if he designates it after the Yovel, v'chishav la kohen es hakesef al pi hashanim anataros, then the kohen should evaluate the amount of money that someone would buy it for according to the years that are left. Shad shnasi yovel v'nigra merkecha, and that's how much he should take off. Meaning he should evaluate the years. 5 years already passed, so there's only 45 years till yovel. Then you take off the amount of money it would have been. You evaluate as if you're buying it for 50 years, and then you take off 5 years of that money, which would be basically 10%, because remember 50, so if you double it, so yep, that's what you do. Right, so on. Anyhow, so that's the psukim in this. Let's go back to the Rambam and continue. Don't think that these 4 types of valuations or mitzvahs, that if someone designates something to Hashem or makdish to Hashem, and there's a mitzvah to evaluate it, don't think they're the same thing because of shituf Hashem, because they have the same name, valuation. Meaning these 4 mitzvahs, the one of if someone's makdish a person, or if someone's and the second one if someone's makdish a tamei animal, and the third one someone's makdish a house, and the fourth one if someone's makdish a field. Don't think that they are the same mitzvah because they have the same name on them of valuation. But there are 4 different mitzvahs. All of them have completely different laws than the other mitzvah. But the name of erech, of a value, includes all of them. Outside shituf Hashem, just by name, meaning by similar name. It's not. It just happens to be the same name but it's different things. It's like it would be similar to what the Rambam said by Zav and Zava, that it's the same name, discharge, but the discharge is a completely different thing in a man and a woman. So that's the same thing over here. It's different things, but it's just a shituf Hashem. It's just a shituf Hashem. Ve'ein ra'oi sheimanu minei ha'archim kulam mitzvah achaz kamai shelo yimanu minei ha'korbanot kulam mitzvah achaz. And it's not proper to count the different mitzvahs of evaluation as one mitzvah, like we don't count every single korban, every type of korban as one mitzvah. Ve'zeh mevu'ar imistaklus. And this is understood with a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of looking into. So that's the mitzvah. That's what we learned today. So now I would like to ask one question and see if we could get what's. I would like to see if anyone has an answer. Please tell me. If not, I'm going to try answering it tomorrow. So I had 2 questions on my mind, but I'm just going to ask one of them, and this is on the mitzvah Kuf Yud Daled, about the valuation of a person. Now the Torah gave specific amount of money that you told us the amount of money that you pay for the valuation of a certain person, depending on if he's male or female, and depending on his age group. But the Torah doesn't say what his value is if he's under a month old. So my question is, what is going to be the his valuation if he's under a month old? Does he have it all? Is it not considered anything, as if you said it, did a shvuah shav, you took an oath in vain? Or is it or does it what is the law in that situation, or is it just a different value? Do you evaluate it and there's no specific designated value? What is the law in that situation? Now, by the way, Pidyon Ben also is after 1 month. We could see a similarity over here. It seems like the 5 shekel that you give for a boy is only after 5 months, but beforehand, does he have any value? What would be the din then? That's my question. Anyhow, so that's the end for today.